What is up everyone, welcome back to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. So welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. An artificial intelligence known as the Entity has gained access to the world's nuclear weapons. Ethan Hunt and the rest of the team are tasked with stopping the Entity in approximately 3 days before a global nuclear disaster strikes. So I'm quite a big fan of the Mission Impossible franchises. I find them all quite enjoyable. Ghost Protocol and Fallout are probably my favorite. I don't remember too much of Dead Reckoning. The last time I saw it was in theaters, but I remember kind of overall enjoying the film. So The Final Reckoning is supposedly the final movie in the franchise. And if that's the case, well, they're screwed because it's not a very good send-off to this franchise. Now, the word that I would use to describe this film, I don't like saying because it's quite a dull criticism, but I found The Final Reckoning quite boring. But anyway, before I get into all that, I'm going to go through what I did like about the film. So first of all, Tom Cruise, I mean, he gives it his all every time with all of these films. Ethan Hunt is his character. He's the only one that can play the character. You can tell just by watching the movie, he's very passionate about the character and he cares a lot about these films. It's just unfortunate that this one is definitely one of the weaker ones. And overall, I did like him and his performance in the film. As well as everyone else, they do a pretty good job. The only person I didn't really like was the villain, but I'll get to that in a minute. Also, just like all the other Mission Impossibles that Christopher McQuarrie directed, the action sequences are superb. Unfortunately for this movie though, I can only really pinpoint one particular action sequence that stands out the most, and it's the one that includes a submarine. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There was just a very overall well-made sequence, mainly because it never cut away to anyone else giving unnecessary exposition like the movie does 1,000 times, and it doesn't rely heavy on the music, which that is my next point. I really liked the music in this film, but this particular action sequence utilizes the actual sound of the sequence rather than just a score that's in the background that's, you know, to build tension. It builds tension by having everything quite silent and never cuts away, and it's just the sequence, and it's very tense and quite enjoyable. But like I said, the music's quite good. I never really have an issue with the Mission Impossible music. The main theme, I mean, it gets you pumped every time. As soon as the title card comes up, you know what you're getting into. The music has that espionage, very action feeling. It's what the movie needs. And this is overall one of the better soundtracks of the franchise. Unfortunately, that's all the credit I can really give this movie. I think it's one of the worst Mission Impossibles in terms of its writing. The villain, you can't take the villain seriously. He's got some very silly dialogue, some very just crazy, very stupid sequences, and just not a very memorable or motivated villain. Really, the villain of the film should be the Entity, and they should have just kind of focused more on that, this artificial intelligence that's threatening to nuke the world. I mean, that's way more exciting and crazy than the villain, who I still don't even know what his motivation was the entire film. And there's a sequence with him towards the end that's just like his dialogue is just appalling. I don't know why they included him as a villain. I'm pretty sure he was the villain in Dead Reckoning Part 1. Again, I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters, and if he was, well, he wasn't memorable in that film, so he's not going to be memorable in this film. And surprise, surprise, he wasn't. But just overall, the writing is just very sloppy, and they give the same piece of exposition every 5 minutes. The constant cutting between like an actually entertaining action sequence and just the most mind-numbing, boring exposition and just like plot details that really just kind of drag the movie out. It's just so unnecessary and just feels sloppy and poorly put together. They also like spend time showing clips from the other movies. Like the movie literally opens with just a whole bunch of clips of the other movie and just throws nostalgia in your face and just kind of expects you to care. 9 out of 10 people who are watching this movie have most likely seen the other 7 films. You don't really need to give us a montage of all the other films. It's like that sequence in The House of Jack Bill where Lars von Trier just showcases all of his other movies. It also takes time to explain what other things are in the other movies. Like the sequence in the first movie where he's rappelling down and he has to do his thing in that sequence. Like they explain that, and then they explain what the substance thing was that he was stealing in Mission Impossible 3. But they never really take the time to kind of explain what the entity is and how it gets the nuclear codes or whatever. And if they do, they just kind of jump over it, and it just feels so sloppily put together. Which is really unfortunate, because this is the final reckoning, it's the final movie, and it needs a big bombastic conclusion, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels quite generic, and just like, they obviously didn't plan the last two movies out very well. I was hoping to get a lot of explanation for some of the stuff in Dead Reckoning Part 1, because it's called Dead Reckoning Part 1, but not really. This kind of movie works on its own. It never really kind of feels like it goes back to Dead Reckoning Part 1, only some of the characters cross over and whatever, but so it's unfortunate that the final Mission Impossible movie I just wasn't a huge fan of. I really wanted to like it, but unfortunately it's one of the weaker ones in the franchise. Just before I give my overall rating, I just wanted to let you know that I've changed my rating system. It used to be out of 10. Now I'm going out of 5 stars, so I can kind of coordinate it with my Letterboxd review. That way I'm kind of not guessing what number it is out of 10 comparing it to my Letterboxd review. This way both of them are the exact same. Anyway, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, I'm going to give a 2.5 out of 5. Anyway guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. So stay tuned, I'll see you guys next time.